Hello, my name is Matt Henley. I'm the Assistant Director of Athletic Bands here at Western Carolina University. I'm also the teacher of the Marching Percussion section. The purpose of this video today is to introduce the Western way of approaching the marching snare drum. As you already know, there are many different ways to approach these marching instruments, various wonderful ensembles across the country, but you gotta really decide at some point what your way is going to be, and that's what the point of this video is today, is to explain to you, those of you that are especially wanting to make our drum line, how we exactly approach these instruments. So, the marching snare drum. Firm believer in making your approach to the drum as natural as possible. I think this is very, very important. One trick to doing this, actually, is to take your sticks and hold them down by your side and step away from the instrument. And just let your body stand there naturally with the natural curvatures of the hand, like everybody's body is made, very relaxed in the upper body. Go to kind of playing position and then walk up to the drum. This is probably going to be the closest to the Western way that you're going to find right off the bat. Many people start at the drum and get into all kinds of bad habits trying to make their body go to the drum, and it should be the other way around. So once again, step away from the drum, hands down naturally by the side, very relaxed in the shoulders. Go to playing position as you think it's going to be, and then walk up to the drum. I think it's a great place to start. Next, I'm going to talk about your upper body and what I affectionately refer to as the cage. The cage meaning your arm, into your upper body, your torso, into the other hand, and how big your cage and what kind of cage that you have. Let's talk about the right hand first. The right hand, if you're hanging down by the side once again and bring it up, you're immediately going to notice a couple of things if you're doing this correctly. Number one, you're going to notice a V notch in your thumb and your forefinger that you should be able to look down and see exactly what's going on there. If your thumb is too far on top, you won't see the notch, you won't see the V. And of course, if you barely see it on this side as well, you have kind of a tabletop hand, and we don't want that. So we want the V kind of up. You're also going to notice this natural curvature of the hand right here. That's important too. Some people get too strong of a cage, too strong of a right arm, where their elbow is making a straight line to the bead. Matter of fact, some people teach that. That creates an immense amount of tension in the back part of the arm. We don't want that at all. No tension. Also, a weak right arm will, of course, be where your elbow is too close to your body. So what we want is somewhere in between there. Hang down by the side, and you're going to notice that it's going to be somewhere in between, all the way out here and next to your body. Okay, that's the first thing. Left hand, same kind of concept. Hang it down by your side, bring it to playing position, and a good trick to doing this is take your right fist and make sure that it's about that distance. That's a pretty good guesstimate way to go. Body types are different on many different people, but that's a good place to start. In other words, we certainly don't want it out here, and we don't want it tucked up against our body either. A lot of people kind of cheat by doing that. We want it just to be about a fist's worth away from the body. Another thing I'd like to talk to you about a little bit is your performance quality. We talk about this all the time at Western. This is, of course, where the playing is going to happen, but our performance a lot of times comes from above the sticks, from our chest and our face. This is a big-time performance activity that we do, and we want a lot of energy coming from our chest and out, and our face as well. Even though we might be wearing a shako, we still want our face up. So instead of dropping your chin or your chin even level or parallel to the drum, about an inch above that will give you a nice, really calm and cool and confident look, which is what we're looking for. Okay, so that's a good habit to get into as you do your individual practicing. Sticks up. We all know what that means. We want thumb on the back of the stick, right stick is in front of the left. Our fulcrum, connecting between our thumb and our forefinger, will connect. And a good trick to do here is take your middle finger on your right hand, kind of touch the rim, and then bring it back up again. That's going to give you really good position in regard to approaching your drum. Also notice how your elbows should remain about where they are in playing position. They don't start here and go out. They don't start here and go in. We want them to be about where they're going to be. They should move very little. Our forearm moves more than anything. Okay? So we want to make sure that there's not a lot of movement there when we go to playing position. All right, playing position. Bead placement. Bead placement is a big deal. We want to make sure you're playing directly in the center of the head. Inside a silver dollar is a good kind of visualization. Play inside a silver dollar. That's a big deal. Also, an even bigger deal is the angles of the sticks themselves in regard to the drum, in relationship to the drum. Some people play with a lot of angle. Some people play very, very flat. We play more flat than anything. The reason is we want a great sound quality coming out of the drum. to get a good sound quality is not just the strokes that you're playing, but where you're playing this on the stick. We want the fat part of the bead striking the head as much as possible. We want as much contact area, in other words. So if you're playing up like this, you're going to notice that the bead is barely touching the head. The farther down you go, the more wood is actually touching the head. Therefore, it's going to produce a darker sound, which is exactly what we want. Another good visualization. It sticks out when your sticks are hanging out about ½ an inch to an inch off, which is playing position. About 2 inches underneath the shoulder of the stick is what we're going for. Okay, so about 2 inches above the shoulder at playing position is a pretty great place to start when it comes to all that. All right, now we're at stroke types. Stroke types, we basically kind of condensed this down in a simplified version into two that we play everything with. One is called the staccato stroke. Many of you, I'm sure, have heard of this, but the staccato stroke is basically initiated 100% from the wrist, 100% from the wrist. The stick does not move in the back of the hand. We want to keep it tucked into the back of the palm of the hand, and everything comes from the wrist. It's going to get probably the thinnest sound of any of the stroke types that we play, but everything is initiated from the wrist, something like this. Okay, you'll notice that I'm not playing it with white knuckles. I'm not gripping it too tightly. I'm just making sure that it's comfortably intact in the back of the hand, and everything is initiated from the wrist. Also, I am personally in control of the rebound at all times. The second stroke type we're going to talk about is legato. Now, one way, like I said, we've kind of simplified this so that everybody can understand, is I refer to it as levels of legato. Meaning that legato is when we start incorporating the fingers and letting the stick come out of the palm of the hand. Same with the left hand. It comes off the fourth finger and we let the stick breathe. At 3 inches, you are obviously going to use less finger and more wrist to achieve this stroke. I'm letting it definitely breathe in the back of the hand, but the majority of the stroke is definitely coming from the wrist. 6 inches, we're going to go up to 6 inches now in our heights, and now we're at basically an even contribution of wrist and finger to achieve this. Notice how I'm definitely letting the back of the stick come off the palm of the hand. Okay, I'm also letting the fourth finger kind of come off the stick a little bit more now. Always maintaining my fulcrum and also letting the middle finger kind of relax over the top of the stick and being kind of the backbone of the left hand. Okay, 9 inches, I'm going to be contributing more from the finger, even though everything's still being derived from the wrist. 12 inches, the easiest way to think about this visually is to look at it being vertical, meaning the top of the stroke is going to be vertical on both hands. Definitely never letting the pinky kind of fly off or tuck back. We wanted them to kind of touch the back of the stick at all times. Okay, that's 12 inches. Also full out we refer to is past vertical, and we're going to go to 15 inches, 3 inches past vertical, and this is the first time that we're finally going to incorporate the third lever of drumming, fulcrum being the first lever, the wrist being the second lever, and the elbow being the third lever of drumming. We're finally going to let the elbow move a little bit to kind of achieve 15 inches. Okay, so that's what that's all about. We tend to play a lot of 9 and 12. We play a very aggressive style of drumming, and we play a lot of loud music at Western Carolina. If you ever heard the band, you know what I'm talking about. So we have to compete in regard to the percussion section and back up that wonderful horn section that we have. So we play very aggressively and very loud a lot of the time, and we have to be in control of that and not let it get out of control. A couple more things for you. Zones, we play zones a lot to achieve different timbres out of the drum. We refer to the center as center, half out as half out, meaning halfway in between center and the edge, and then edge would be basically 2 inches from the rim itself. These are of course to achieve different timbres out of the drum. So if you see in your music an H, that's, HO, that's half out, E is an edge, and the C is center. And if you don't see anything, just assume that it's going to be center. We'll do some other strange things and moving zones around, but those are the three main ones that we use all the time. Just keep in mind some things as you practice, and that is the fact that it's all about the way you play, what you play. I've had many people come in that can play the notes, but they don't really do it the Western way. We need you to be cool, relaxed, confident, and certainly aggressive, and you'll certainly be well on your way to achieving the Western style. Feel free to contact me at any time to discuss any questions. My email is mhenley, that's M-H-E-N-L-E-Y, at email.wcu.edu. My office phone number, 828-227-2998, and keep drumming.